coders, and welcome to the third episode of Sorskoot Codes, how to build a node.js application. On this third episode, we're going to have a look at Pug and how to use data to render a simple page. So let's get started. Between episodes, I've added a JSON file containing some generated data. In this case, I've added speaker, a title, a description, a target audience, a start time and an end time for the session, if the session will be recorded or not, the day that the session is held, and the room the session is in. This is all random. I just added some variations to the time, so it will be more like a real app. So that's the data. Now to get the data into the app, it's very simple, and that's the reason I chose a JSON file. I'm going to show the data in the index, and what I can do is just use require. Now I have to take the path from the location I'm in, and in this case I'm in the routes folder, so I have to go one folder up to the root, then to data, and then take schedule.json. Now in this case the app is the app can use the data, and I have to return it. It's rendering the index with a title. So let me add some data to there. Let's do that like this. And to prove the data is really in here, I'm going to start the application. I'm going to switch to my Chrome. Go to localhost, just opened the URL, and I'm hitting this this location, this breakpoint. And as you can see, the data is in here. So let's move on and use Pug to show it. This data is placed in here, and this is Pug. In this case, it's extending on the layout Pug file, which is this one. This is basically the root of the whole sequence. It's using the title property that is passed to the renderer. In this case, Express. Let's change this to conference app. This will be the name of the application, the title for the screen. That will be placed in here, and this will be rendered to HTML. This is the link with the style sheet and the body. Now this block is not HTML. This is the you can mark this area to be replaced by another file. So it works in combination with the extend. I'm extending the layout, and in this case I have a block as well with that same name, and then the contents of this block will be placed on the location of this block. So an h1 with schedule in this case. Let's add an unordered list. And Pug also can loop over data. So now I get a for loop, which will update a session variable for every element in data. Now I can take a list item and say session.title, because title is a property on the elements of data. So let's see if this works. Now I did have that breakpoint over here. Let me remove that and continue. And there we have the data. If we look at the source, we see we have that schedule. Everything is in here. Conference app is the title. That's the style sheet. And that block is replaced, in this case, with schedule. And I made a mistake. Pug is very sensitive to all kinds of indentations. And so you have to be sure you indent everything nicely. There is an extension I'm using. I'm hitting Shift Alt F to format my document. And I'm using the Pug Beautify extension. And this will work with Alt Shift F to format the document. So that's nice. Now this is not something we really like to do. It's nice that we can have data, but I want to do a bit more. I want this session information to be more than just an LI. I want this to be placed inside a div. And I want all this session data, I want this to be in a separate file. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to add a new file, session.pug. And I'm going to place this in here. Now there are a couple of ways in which you can do that. So say I only want to have some HTML in here. A div would say a span that says hello. If I want to do something like this, I can say include. And I named it session.pug, so now it will include the session file. So if I refresh, it says hello 100 times. So this can be useful if you want to reuse some HTML. In this case, I want to pass some data to it. I'm going to move this to up here somewhere because I want to include it, but I'm not going to add HTML directly. I'm going to create a mixin, and a mixin has a name, and you can pass it variables. I have to make sure the indentation is correct. So now I have a div. In that div, I want an h2 with session title. I want session.speaker in there as well. And I want a, oh, I'm not typing HTML. You can write this in another way. You can also do something like this. Session dot summary description. So now I have this mixin that's running a div with a few elements in there. But if I refresh the page, we get an error. Expected indent but got outdent in session in data. Yes, and that is probably because there is nothing in here. Now to use a mixin, you have to add a plus sign, then the name of the session, and then pass it that variable. So let's refresh that and try again. And now we get a nice title. Now, say we want to use some attributes inside that Pug as well. I want this div to have a style. Now you can add attributes by adding them like so. And now I could say I want a border of 1 pix solid black, and I want a bottom margin of 25 pixels. Now when I refresh, I should have a border, and I was expecting to have a bottom margin. But for some reason, I need to write that the other way around. There it is. Now this starts to look like a conference app already. We need to add some time. We need to add the time. But yeah, that's nice. I am going to leave it at that for this episode. Let's have a look at the to-do list. So next episode, I'm going to add some Sass with Twitter Bootstrap, and that will enable us to start working on the design of the app a bit more and make this look a bit better. And with that, I thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you again next time. If you like the stream, please subscribe, like, or leave a comment. And have a great day. Goodbye.